Well, good morning, good day. How are you this glorious day? Hello, hello, friends. So excited to see you. I'm so glad that you're here. Hello, everyone in chat. Valder, Shauna, Cecilia, Larissa. Oh, hello from Brazil. Hello. I've always wanted to visit. Maybe one day I'll make my way down there. We'll see. Could be fun. So, my name is Andrew Hockrattle. As you can see right there, it is right there. You can just call me Hawk. And today we are talking about texture in Adobe Illustrator. Lots of tiny claps because I'm very excited. Texture is kind of my thing. I have actually worn this shirt in honor of us talking about texture. I'm going to show you how I made text look like this using additive and subtractive texture. Now, if you're new to the daily challenges, it's a little bit on the end of our 2-week run, but guess what? Maybe we'll get a sequel. Who knows? If you have liked what we're doing, join us in our Discord. Come be a part of that. You can join Discord by just going right here, bit.ly/AI Discord. You can hang out in there. I believe right now there's a lot of people posting their work and talking about all these different challenges we're working on, asking questions, getting advice, and even looking at some portfolios, which is really, really fun. Hi, Laura. Hello, Tim. Thanks for the links. So hop into our Discord. I'm in here usually talking, giving feedback, giving advice. Special shout out to Catherine, has been helping. She's amazing, and one of our other mentors. So hop into Discord. Again, that link right here, bit.ly/AI Discord. If you want to get into the challenges, you can also go to this is not the right window. We'll get there in a second. You can go to behance.net/challenge/illustrator, and that will give you all of the daily challenges. You can sign up and find our Discord here. If you want to go back, we've done some really fun stuff over the last 2 weeks. So go back, do some of these lessons. You can watch the videos, watch the recaps, not that one. We had some technical difficulties yesterday, but you can go watch it and hopefully learn something as we figured it out. So hop onto this page. You also can click here to register for future challenges, future updates to get notifications. It would be tomorrow, and I would pop up and be like, hey, we're doing another challenge. Come hang out. So let's do it. Yes, 7,000 users on the AI Discord. Oh my goodness. Hello, everyone. Hello, 7,000. Now I want to throw up. Oh, it's fun. So if you're posting your work in the daily challenges, be sure to go and post on Behance using the tag AI Daily Challenge. I'll be looking at some of these, and if we have time at the end of the stream, I'll be reviewing some of them. I want to look at this one, Jack Watson, because it caught my eye. This is incredible and beautiful, and I love it. This is similar to what we're going to be doing today, working a little bit with blend modes and working a lot with texture. Now, y'all know me, and y'all know that when we start talking at the beginning of my streams, we always have to go to camera 2. So let me go ahead and put my keyboard away, and we are going to cut to our good friend, camera 2. Hello, camera 2. Whoa, it looks like I have so many hands, especially if I put them up here. Okay, sorry, I got distracted. All right, let's talk about camera 2, because today we're talking about texture. And texture really has 2 different ways to make texture. And today we're going to be looking at texture through the context of salt and pepper. Salt and pepper is a good way to look at how to use texture. So we're going to talk about additive texture. And additive texture is basically something that you just put on top, right? Additive texture is something that's, let's say we have a word here. Let's just say hello. Hello. Right? So we have the word hello, and we want to do some additive texture. So we're going to take this pepper, and imagine this is texture, and additive texture basically just sprinkles it on top, right? It's something that kind of maybe gets rubbed in a little bit, it's a little sparse. Additive texture just goes on top. It can create some cool effects, it can create some momentum and even some like grit to your text, but additive texture is really hard because you're just putting it on top. It's a very destructive kind of workflow. Now, what's interesting is there's another kind of texture called subtractive texture. And subtractive texture, let's go ahead and do a shorter one. Let's do bonjour. That is not a shorter one. Bonjour. Bonjour? I think I spelled that right. If there's anyone that speaks French in chat, let me know. And subtractive texture is basically if there was something on top. So let's go ahead and just color over this B. Right? So we're basically putting something on top, but then using that something, right, to take away. So it's like using an eraser. And as we take away pieces, you'll be able to see what's underneath, right? We're not putting it on top. Oh, I just blew pepper all over my floor. Great. As you take away pieces, you can start to see more of what is underneath, right? So subtractive texture is taking away so you can see what's underneath, and additive texture is putting it on top so that you're adding to whatever that element is. So what's interesting is sometimes you think of, right, something dark being additive texture, but you think of something light being subtractive texture. Not true, not necessarily. It's no. So let's say that we have this great box, right? Working in black, and this is something that you think, okay, it's dark. That must be a dark background, and if we add white to it, then that's a subtractive texture because we're subtracting from the black. Not really. We are actually adding to the black. So we're going to use our salt here, and as you can see, we start putting this salt on, and it's literally just sitting on top of the black. And even though it looks like it's taking away, it's not. It is, again, an additive texture that is adding on top. So I'm going to pull my keyboard back out. We are going to hop into Illustrator, and we are going to work today on creating a gig poster. Back to headshot. Look at me. Look at your project. Look at me. We are going to be talking today about working with texture in Adobe Illustrator. So let's hop over there into our working window and let's look at our brief for today. So our brief for today is we are going to be using texture to add character. We're going to go ahead and read our affirmation today. Today on this challenge, I want you to get just a little bit rough around the edges, right? Just a little bit rough around the edges because we're working with texture. So today we're going to add and subtract texture to create a rugged look. Create a band gig poster featuring the name of the band and tons of texture. Be sure to add and subtract texture to achieve the perfect layered look. This sounds like a beauty tutorial, like for hair. Add and subtract to create a perfect layered look. That's what we're doing today. As always, you can follow me at hawk.co on social media or on Behance or on Instagram and follow along as I post some more work or some behind the scenes things. So today we're talking about Pathfinder, opacity masks, and blending modes. Spending a lot of time in opacity masks. And I actually today wore this shirt in honor of us talking about texture. If you want to see me, this is a great segue. Okay, let's do this again. So you can follow me at hawk.co if you want to see me post. And today I'm wearing this shirt that says post so that we can talk about texture and in honor of texture. So we're going to be showing you how to type and start here and finish with something like this. This is a font that I've created. You can get it at hop.shop, hoch.shop. And we're going to be creating a gig poster for my friend Van Andrew. He is an incredible artist, just had an album come out called Highwire. You can stream it wherever you want, but we are going to be working with his name and creating a gig poster for his band. So I'm going to show you how to take this, right, clean type, very sharp edges, into this. It's got gritty. It's got those like little pieces missing. It's got the weird edges, and this is all typable in my font Industrious. But today I'm going to show you how I made this version of the font and this version of the font. I always like to try to include two versions when I'm creating fonts. So we're just going to grab this type for Van Andrew. We're going to bring it up here. I've tracked this very poorly, so we're going to go ahead and bring that in just a little bit. We're going to start out with two ends with Van, just for demonstration purposes for later. I'm going to select this, and again, this is all just housekeeping stuff. I'm using the alignment to basically bring it to the center. Now, I'm going to show you how to do subtractive texture. In this file, there are a bunch of textures for you. Usually you have to buy texture packs or you have to license them off Adobe stock. You guys can have these for free. These are literally pictures of my carpet, the lamp next to me, and the rug behind me. So I just brought them in, increased the threshold in Photoshop, and brought them into Illustrator so you guys had something to work with. So my gift to you. Love you. So we're going to go ahead and click on this, and holding Alt or Option, it's going to make a copy of it as I drag it. And we're going to put this over the text a little bit. And now here's where the workflow gets a little bit unconventional for how I like to do texture. We'll be using a non-destructive workflow in Illustrator to create texture. And it's going to be crazy, and there are a couple little weird workarounds, but it's going to be awesome. Yes, and Tim, you can use Adobe Capture to generate textures like this. I am just getting on board using Adobe Capture, and it is amazing. So what we're going to do is we have this texture, right? And I'm going to make these colors so we can start to see what we're doing here, just to explain. So we have our texture, that's going to be pink. And we want the pink to be in front of this text. Now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to drag a white box. And we're going to drag this white box. Right now I'll make it kind of gray for you. And we are going to drag the white box over the whole area of the texture and then send to back. We can right click and hit Arrange, Send to Back. Okay, so we're going to make this an actual white box by going into our swatches panels, making it a white box. And we are going to make our texture black. So now if I change to outline mode, you can see we have the box here and we have the black texture. Excuse me. And you need to think of this as creating almost a sheet. We're creating a cookie cutter sheet almost to punch through. And we need the white to tell Illustrator to keep everything that is in the white zone. Everything that is black, we want to punch out. So that's why we put that white box in the background. We're going to go ahead and group the box and the texture together. And now you can see we have one shape that has the white box and the black texture together. And again, we're not thinking about this as texture yet. We're thinking about this as values. We just created a single sheet that is an input for Illustrator to know everything that is white on this sheet is going to go ahead and stay. Everything that is black on this sheet or group is going to get knocked out. So we have our sheet in front and the text on back. We're going to go ahead and select both of those. So as you can see, I have the text selected here by just clicking and dragging, and we have the box sheet of texture on top. Excuse me. So once we have all this selected, we're going to come over here into the transparency tool. And here we can change the opacity, we can work with blend modes like we did yesterday, but a super powerful tool that I don't think we've talked about is using opacity masks. So we have our top sheet, we have our bottom text, and what's basically going to happen is it is going to use the top to make a mask onto the bottom. So check this out. Make textures, that says make mask. And now you can see we have this great texture that is now masked out because it's taking the input. Oh, excuse me, it's the pepper. The input of the white and black and punching out all that black. So if we select this, we can see over here, we can release it, we can invert the mask, which means that it's only going to show us the black parts, take away everything else. We don't want that yet. But what's great is we can come in here, and these two windows, the one on the left is the object in the background, the one on the right is the mask that we're using. So if we click on the mask that we're using, you can see now we can actually work with the mask that exists. And this is why it's non-destructive. I can come in here and I can just grab the texture, and I'm going to start making copies of that texture. Let me grab that, just the texture. There we go. So I have the texture. I'm just going to copy and paste. And as you can see, I'm going to rotate this, hitting R or using the rotate tool. And I am copying and pasting. And each time I do that, it is adding texture, right? So now you can see that it's added texture because I am in the window and I'm editing just my mask, right? Just the mask in the window, editing the mask. And what's nice is this is basically whatever's on bottom, it is punching through that. And the best part is that now, because the mask is affecting what is underneath it, we can come back in here and say, oh man, I spelled his name wrong. It actually is with one N. And this is live text that we can change, and we can say hello if we want. We can say something like run away, and play with the different type of text, right? And so let's go ahead and type with industrious right next to it so I can show you the difference. There is a rough version of this. Let me go ahead and put the rough version. I'll show you. There we go. So it's a little bit different, right? We're not quite there because we don't have that weird edge, right? We want to get that weird edge. We're going to get a little bit weird. That was my weird song. That just happened. I'm sorry. So we want to get a little bit weird. So again, these are two things. We have the text that's on bottom that is live and editable. We have the texture on top, or the mask that is affecting it. So let's go ahead and grab our text here. And we're going to use a tool that we've used in a past challenge. We're going to go to Effect, Distort and Transform, and do Roughen right here in the middle. Roughen. I'm actually going to zoom in so we can really see what's happening here. So Effect, Distort and Transform, and Roughen. And with Roughen, we're going to turn on the preview, and oh my goodness, we've ruined it. It looks terrible. What Roughen is doing is it's taking the edges, taking the anchor points, and kind of just giving them like a good, like crazy shake. It's like, wake up! But it's a little bit too much for me right now. So we're going to take this down to like 0.5. There we go. It's a little bit. And 0.5 is the amount of rustle that it has. And the detail is the amount of rustles that it has. So we're going to take that up really high. And as you can see, we're starting to get this cool little wonky edge, right? Absolutely love that. So we're going to take it up just a little bit more. Let's go to 0.7. And now you can see we've got a nice little edge. You can change to smooth if you want it to look a little bit smoother. I like doing the corners, so it grabs the perfect corners. And we're going to hit OK. And now you can see we have the soft edge. This is a little more dense of a texture, but it's embedded into the font, and we want to have everything editable still. So we can come in here, and again, we're going to go back to creating our poster, and we're doing Van Andrew. And it's live text that we can keep. It keeps that weird edge. It keeps the texture on top, and everything is editable, right? Super cool. So I want to do some additive texture. And doing additive texture, we can grab, again, another one of these textures, and we're basically just going to slap this on top. I'm going to change the color of this text to blue, which we can do, and it's going to keep all of our texture the same. And what I do with additive texture, there's really no trick to additive texture other than adding it. So we're going to make it so that it's over both of these. And what I'll do is I'll group these and then double click to go into isolation mode. And that makes it so that I can't select what's in the background. And I'm going to hit Q to grab the Lasso Tool. And the Lasso Tool, I'm just going to go around the areas that I don't want. And clicking the Lasso Tool is super easy. You can do it very rough, very loose, and just connect and select the area that you want to take away the texture. And we're going to hit delete twice, because if we hit it once, you can see that there are anchor points that are kind of still left. If we hit it again, it deletes those anchor points entirely. So I want this to kind of be like a little block print. So we're going to do some hard edges on these blocks so that we just have texture in the block area. Again, using the Lasso Tool, Q. And I'm going to change this color to match what the color is there. So now we've got some additive texture. It's just slapped on top. Great, and I love it. So let's go ahead and grab our little sunburst here. And I'm going to scale this up, hitting S or using the scale tool. And I want this to be like a sun ray, like out of the middle of this A. So I'm going to go ahead and make this yellow. There we go. And just like we worked with yesterday, yes, the Lasso Tool Valdera is super helpful if you're just grabbing points and trying to like very loosely do stuff. So we're going to grab this. We are going to multiply. So now we've got this cool kind of starburst coming out of the Van Andrew name. I'm digging this poster already. And what we're going to do is I'm going to select this shape, and I want to give it that weird edge. Another great resource is to grab some brushes and work with some brushes in Illustrator. There is one texture brush that you can use very easily that is actually built into your texture brushes. And you can see it's giving you these weird little edges, these little imperfections. One of the great ways to get great texture brushes is one of my friends, let's go here. There we go. One of my friends, Jeremy Slagle, you can grab his brushes at slagledesign.com/brushshop. And he's got incredible brushes that help you create effects like this. So very easy to throw on the edges, very easy to create texture, very, very quickly and very easily on those edges without using the roughen tool. One of my favorites to work with. So let's hop back in, and we're going to do one more thing. We're going to add some stars down here. So we're going to grab this star shape that we have. We are going to Command C, and we are going to paste this. Now this star, I want to have a little bit of texture, again, just to match up. So I'm going to make it red. And I am going to, let's just add a weird brush to it to make it a little bit wonky because we don't want too much. There we go. That's good enough for me. So I'm going to put this here, and I'm going to change the blend mode to multiply. Boom. And now you can see we're getting this really cool interaction with these letters. Let's make him a superstar. And I'm just clicking, holding Shift and dragging, and then hitting Command D, and it will replicate that again. So we're adding these stars in here. Again, it's super textured. It's looking good, looking super weird. And it looks like, right, it is a hand-done poster. These look a little bit too much on there. So I'm going to go ahead and drag them down. There we go. So we got a little bit of texture for our friend Van Andrew, which is very, very helpful. So again, brushes are a great way to add that weird edge using the roughen tool. And if we want to, we could come in here and be like, you know what? Maybe it's not for Van Andrew. Maybe it's for a different Andrew, Andrew Hawk. Let's just do Hawk, Andrew Hawk. And now you can see, because we used that opacity mask, all the texture is still there. Our additive texture has gotten a little messed up, so we need to go back and slap that texture back on top. But it's a very easy way. And I think actually, because of the way this worked out, I can literally just invert it. And now it's pretty close to having that same texture by just flipping it upside down. Yeah, I'm not sure if I love Van Andrew or texture more. Thank you, Doc Reed. Doc Reed actually has a lot of great texture work as well. He did a really great lesson on Adobe Live a little while ago, if you want to go look that up and check it out. So I am looking forward to seeing what you all can make using these tools and the additive and subtractive texture. If you're posting, I would love to see and prove that you've used the method of doing the non-destructive workflow by maybe doing the same poster with different type and see that, oh, I can type and it keeps the texture. I can have different messages and be able to use a workflow that is very, very easy and creates that texture, but also is open for revisions. Now, again, if you have not joined us, make sure you go into our Discord right here at this link up above. Hanging out in our Discord is one of the best things you can do in chatting and posting your projects. I love texture, and I'm so excited to see what you do with texture. So make sure you're posting there, and make sure that you are posting on Behance. Make sure you're posting on Behance using AI Daily Challenge. I will be looking at these. Let's actually, real quick, we have a couple minutes. Let's go ahead and look at the most recent and see if there's any texture stuff coming in here. Oh, there is. Hello, Laura. Great work, right? We're using a lot of additive texture here. It looks like the gray is on top, and this is a great example of thinking through additive and subtractive. If this was subtractive, we'd actually be seeing the green in the background and not the gray. So the gray is being added on top of the black instead of it being subtracted. So subtractive takes it away, and that's using those opacity masks. You all have been doing such a great job at these challenges. I've loved watching what you're doing and creating logos, creating coasters. I want you to come back tomorrow, because tomorrow we will be talking through and going over how to create letterhead. We'll be doing some work with outer glows, some work with drop shadows, and working a lot with clipping masks, which we haven't covered yet. So we'll be talking about clipping masks and how to take elements and turn them into a great letterhead for you to use. So that is all that we have today. Remember, you guys are great. You're doing great. And this is some of your best work. There's no wrong answers here. So if you do it a different way, it's just different. It's not wrong. No wrong answers in design. I want to see how you do it, or you can follow the way that I do it and use the source file that I've provided for you for this challenge. Hopefully I'll see your work, and I will see you all again tomorrow, 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, right here on Behance. See you later!